Time for our year in review and also a little look ahead with the Director of Athletics here at Indiana State, Sherard Clinkscales. I'm the voice of the Sycamores, Luke Martin. Sherard, thanks for taking the time. It's hard to believe that we can recap this year, but what are you most proud about in your 5+ years now here in Terre Haute and all the accomplishments you've been able to have as the leader here of this department?
Oh, 5 years, man. We've been here a long time, man. That's a good thing. We're very fortunate. I've been very encouraged by this year. Our coaches and student athletes showed a lot of resiliency. We've had some really good moments and we've had some challenging moments, but overall, I've been fairly pleased with how things have gone.
We'll get into the athletic accomplishments because there's plenty to talk about, but I feel like after you go through COVID, that impacted so many people, but the fundraising efforts internally never really dwindled. That took a lot of effort, I know, behind the scenes to make sure that level just stayed high.
Right. Well, when you start off, you have to plant the seeds, and we're very fortunate that we're able to reap the benefits of that hard work that we've done over the last 5 years during COVID. Danny, myself, Logan, Christina, Courtney, just all of us just working together to be able to cultivate and to have such a good year. We're going to be just over $4 million this year. That's going to be the highest ever. And that's all about relationships. It's all about our student athletes and showing the value proposition that we offer to our alumni and our people that want to give, and they're starting to see the fruits of that labor.
Whenever we talk, I know everyone, whenever they talk about you, should say, talk about how competitive you are. And we know at the end of the day, ultimately, it's about winning those championships on the field or court, wherever it's at. But in those off-court, off-field, the fundraising efforts, is that a really big proud moment for you and I know it's more than you, but in what you've been able to build since you got here in 2016.
It is because they said marketing, ticketing, and revenue generation. Those were kind of the charges, and obviously competitive is wins and losses. But yeah, I'm very proud of it because it's been a lot of hard work, just getting to know and build relationships, build the trust, and again to show the value proposition that with X this is going to happen, and then for it to happen like it did in track and field, like it's done in baseball. It shows that the fruits of that labor really pays off. But ultimately, they're buying into a vision. They're buying into what I believe that this department can be, and so it does feel good.
There's been so many improvements in terms of our facilities over the years, but one of the biggest ones is going to be the new video board going up in Holman Center here very shortly. We'll update our fans as we go throughout the summer. But game day environment, I know, is really important to you and this staff, and that's something that you guys are continuing to work on throughout this summer, making sure you're maximizing now what is a pristine basketball facility.
Now, we're very fortunate that the state was able to give us the money to be able to renovate the Holman Center, and so now you add this piece of it, this state-of-the-art scoreboard. It's really going to change the atmosphere, and how we leverage that and maximize that's going to be very important for our student athletes, coaches, and fans. It should be a big boon for sponsorships because there's more opportunities now for companies to showcase what they do and everything. So we're getting prepared for November now, so we can take advantage of that tremendous gift.
One of the cool events that you started last year honoring Max and Jackie Gibson was the Tried and True Gala. That'll be, of course, upcoming here very, very shortly. Why was that an event that you really wanted to start, and, of course, a big part of being able to recognize important people that have impacted Indiana State athletics over the years?
Well, you said it, Luke. I think that's the big thing that we wanted to be able to. We're asking all these people for money, but there's been a history of people that have given historically over long periods of time to the athletic department. And you want to celebrate those people, and you want to show what that looks like, so hopefully people can replicate it. And plus, we never had one event that was just a fundraiser for athletics. There was just nothing. I know Bob Warren back in the day had the Night of Champions, where they raised a lot of money for baseball. But so I kind of took his idea and said, let's do something for athletics, and this was a way for us to do it. And we had a lot of success last year, raised just over $115,000, and this year the momentum is still building, and we're going to recognize Bud and Aaron Perry. So we're really looking forward to that and everything. So.
Of course, let's switch to the athletic accomplishments. I don't think it's right we don't begin anywhere else but Angie Martin and her track and field program. A tremendous year for her. But it took a lot of work to get to this point. There's very few people, I think, that understand the tough battles that she had to go through early in probably taking over, not probably, the toughest way possible to take over a program that was very successful. what it mean for you to see her have those accomplishments this year in her athletes.
Well, just to put it in perspective, we've won more championships in track and field than any other sport we've had here. And obviously the circumstances that she took it over were traumatic. And she was kind of thrust into that. And so you're like, okay, now I've got to maintain those expectations. Then you throw in, the social movements, racial reconciliation, COVID, the portal, just all those factors. She had a baby. And then my expectations, because you want to make sure that program stays at a high level. You factor all that in, and her student athletes truly bought into her staff, and it's just a tremendous effort on her part as a leader, and her staff and her student athletes. We talk about all the time about how hard it is to compete. It's hard to compete anyway, and now, but when you have expectations that are already built there, and now you got to reach them. I couldn't be more happier than her and her staff, and just really just thankful that we've got her committed for another 5 years, and she cares. And I think about winning's important, but someone like her and all of our coaches that truly genuinely care about their student athletes, I think it'll pay dividends in the long haul with all the different things that are happening with NIL and the transfer portal.
You, of course, brought up Angie being able to extend her for 5 years. There's multiple other coaches, too, that you've been able to extend. In terms of the stability of the staff, is this the best stability that you feel like you have had during your time here across the board in terms of your sports and your leadership?
Absolutely. I mean, go to Coach Mallory. I mean, Coach Mallory's outstanding. I just don't think people really know how fortunate we are to have a coach like him. We're all our coaches, but yeah, for him, for Julie, we just hired a new volleyball coach because Lindsay moved on. But Josh Christensen, then of course Mitch Hannes, who's right there with Angie with success and everything. So yeah, this is about as much stability as I've had, and looking forward for Chad and for Josh to do really well, so we can hopefully extend them.
Well, and you brought up Josh and Chad, and I know last year there were many of those guys wish more success would have happened, but you've been in that gym this summer just like I have. There's a lot of positive energy building for what it seems like everything coming together could be a really good winner for those two teams.
Yeah, sports is one of those things where things got to fall into place, and the last year's last year, but as we were so close in so many different ways to that season being 3 or 4 games above 500 possibly. But the positive energy that has been built since the season, the call to duty that him and the staff did to get things and to get the talent level up has been great. Chad's done a tremendous job, reinforcing the ladies that are coming back this year. So I think that the positive momentum, the enthusiasm, genuine enthusiasm for the future and for the program looks really bright. But as you all know, wins and losses is what you're looking at, anything in that. But I do feel very optimistic about it.
As being an athletic director in the Valley and seeing the Valley expand, what has you most eager about the new members coming in and the excitement? Because we all know basketball is very important. And I feel like those additions are really going to help basketball.
Yeah. Well, I think you have schools that want to be in a conference, first of all. They want to be invested, and they're happy to be a part of the conference. It's going to be nice to go into Chicago and Nashville, even down into Murray and in those areas. But I think it's just going to be a new, fresh look for the conference. They're going to want to make their mark as soon as possible. And so I know the athletic directors are really good people and intuitive and ready to get after it. So I'm looking forward to their participation.
As you look forward to the next year, what are some things, and whether that's what you want to see in terms of accomplishments on the playing surface, but also for the department, what's kind of your next year vision and things you would like to see the department continue to grow on as you look towards ahead this next calendar athletic year?
Well, I think going into year 6, of the champ, people kind of know what our expectations are. I believe we have a really good culture here amongst our staff. What I'm looking forward to more than anything is just to kind of now build upon the successes that we've had and to build that trajectory that continues to move up for all of our sports. From fundraising, we've done really well. We've got stability there. We've got stability in our sponsorships, with our coaches and our staff. And so I believe we're on really firm ground to build a trajectory that's going to be able to catapult us into these challenging times that we're all facing with the NCAA, because we've got tough decisions to make, and we want to make sure that we're in a position to be able to equip our student athletes and coaches to be successful in this new environment that we're going to be in.
You mentioned those tough challenges, but I know you and the staff are ready to take them on and really excited for the next year.
Yeah, no, we really are. We really are.
Sherard, appreciate the time and look forward to a very exciting year upcoming.
And Luke, I appreciate all your work. You've done a really good job, elevating, our presence. We didn't have that presence until you came on board, and so just what you know, I really do appreciate all the work that you're doing.
Appreciate that, Sherard. For more on Indiana State athletics, there's going to be tons of updates throughout the summer. Just stay tuned to GoSycamores.com and all of Indiana State athletics social media. For the Director of Athletics, Sherard Clinkscales, I am Luke Martin. We'll talk to you soon.